Is it possible to train effectively in spite of language and cultural differences? I contend it is. So this afternoon, what I would like to do is to share with you a framework from which we can look at training with a different set of eyes, a different perspective from the standpoint of looking at training and looking at training effectively so that we can impact the behavior of our employees or the people that we work with. My goal today is to share with you some practical strategies about training. And as a bonus, I'd like to give you the one word that will impact your employees' performance just almost immediately. One word that you can use. So let's start with, what is training? Can anyone tell me what training is? Is that training is about creating habits. I'll say that again. Training is about creating habits. If we can train someone to develop the habit of consistently performing a task or a job the same way every time, it's a big win. Now, if we look at how adults learn, it's what they call the learning triangle, which basically states roughly that adults learn about 10% of what we tell them, 20% of what we show them, that they learn 70% of what we do. That makes total sense. Now, the reality is that when we train someone, we spend about 70% of the time telling someone how to do it. We do a little bit of showing, about 20%, and then we allow for very little time to practice. So what about training a diverse workforce? We have the issue, the challenge, the opportunity to deal with folks that are willing to do the work that may speak a different language. Or we have folks that may have a different culture. Or we're trying to train young kids that are thinking about going into farmer. How do we go about that? The premise is you don't need to speak the language in order to train. So just hang in there, okay? what it shows is that you really do not need to know the language in order to communicate. You can utilize resources so that you can get folks to do the task. So let me share with you 3 practical strategies as to how you can go about training so it is effective training. Number 1 is to develop protocols, guidelines. Number 2 is to assess your training needs. And number 3 is to observe and monitor the training. So number 1 is to develop protocols. 2, assess needs, training needs. And 3, observe and monitor your training. If you don't have protocols just yet, I would suggest that you start thinking about writing down, listing out, step by step, sequentially, how you do certain tasks at your operation. Perhaps you look at some of the critical tasks that need to be done, that you want to ensure that the quality of the performance of that task is guaranteed. Then assess your training needs. Start thinking about what things, what jobs, what processes are there in your farm where you need help with that are inconsistent right now, that only you, yourself, are able to do. How do you train others to do those tasks? How do you transfer that knowledge? Not to transfer the information, but actually transfer the knowledge. And then monitor the training. Monitor your employees as they are performing the task. Monitor what it is that they're doing. Observe. So I told you about the one word that you can use to improve somebody's performance just like that, right? What do you think that one word is? It's so simple. In fact, I just used it a few minutes ago. If you think of a new employee, if you hire me, I'm coming into your farm, to your operation with a suitcase full of enthusiasm. I am coming in with a suitcase full of dreams because I want to show you, I want to share with you how good I am, how much I really want to help, and how much I appreciate the fact that you gave me the job. So don't send me home after my first day with a, hey, Tom, good job today. I'll see you tomorrow. We all need a pat on the back, right? And we say that all the time. Hey, good job. But you know what? That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because if you were to add just one word to that, the improvement in performance that you can see and the motivation and even the retention, because we want to do the best and we want to feel recognized, could be amazing. So the one word is because. Because. Donald, you did a great job because you grabbed one candy and you gave it to the individual here sitting, and then you gave the thumbs up. Great job. For example, the why. I would suggest train the what and then train the why. If the what is important, the how is important, the why doesn't really matter right now. I just need to know that I need to do a certain task a certain way. And that's all that matters. That's what my job is. That is what it's expected of my performance. So train first the what and the how, and then worry about the why.